Greetings and welcome. How are we all feeling today? As humans, we have a plethora of emotions. We feel multiple different things on a daily basis, and our emotions play a big part in our lives. They help us understand ourselves, our mental health, and help us navigate throughout the world, through our world and our experiences as well. Our emotions can be very destructive if we engage in very high intensity anxiety and anger, and we have outbursts and we have breakdowns. Emotions can be very beneficial for you and very destructive at the same time. It all depends on how you regulate your emotions. And it's not just about regulating the emotions, it's also about understanding, regulating, and being aware of the intensity and the degree of the emotions. Remember, it's one thing to feel something, but it's another thing to feel deeply about something. Because, yes, emotions can cause you to react and can cause blow ups and issues, but it's more about the intensity of the emotion. If you are anxious, but you are just a little bit shaky, a little bit short of breath, a little bit uncomfortable, but you can carry on with your day as normal, that's fine. But if you have extremely intense anxiety, that you are hyperventilating, you are sweating, you are shaking, then that is another story. Because it's one thing to regulate how you're feeling, being aware of how you're feeling, and being able to channel it into something positive. But it's another thing to deal with the intensity of it, the degree of it. Because you can feel angry. You can feel angry and still be able to keep your cool around your family and around your friends and around other people, or you can be explosively angry up to the point where it translates into the rest of your life, and it can cause damage to the quality of your life and your relationships. Remember, we either react or respond to emotion. And when we respond to emotion, we are able to deal with the emotion and the intensity better. But when we react to emotion, we tend to become explosive, we tend to break down, and we tend to blow up. Emotions are a guide. Emotions show us parts of ourselves that we have not yet discovered. And it's through our emotions that we are able to understand our worlds. It's how we make meaning of our situations and our circumstances. And interestingly enough, thought and emotion go hand in hand. So if you have very negative thoughts, very destructive thoughts, very, very intense thoughts, very chaotic thoughts, your mind is very busy, you're thinking in a very negative way, then your emotions will follow. If you have negative thinking, then you will react to emotion and you will have negative emotions. So remember that your emotions start from the way that you think, your mindset, your perspectives, how you view things, how you internalize your circumstances and experiences. Because emotions just show us how we deal with our experiences. Emotions are an experience in themselves. Emotions are what allow you to feel parts of life and to feel pain, to feel happy, to feel upset, to feel angry. It's all an amazing part of the human experience, and it's important that you feel these emotions, but in a healthy way, and that you don't project any hurt or pain or negativities onto yourself and other people. Don't internalize your emotions in a destructive way. Use them to understand where your mental health is manifesting and what state your mental health is in, and how you are dealing with yourself, how you are dealing with the world, how you are dealing with your functioning in everyday life. So remember, it's one thing to feel something. It's one thing to feel upset. It's one thing to feel angry. But it's another thing to become explosive. It's another thing to understand how deeply you feel something. Because how deeply you feel something will determine how intensely you react or respond to it. Because we respond to our emotions through the thoughts that we create in our minds and how we respond to our environments. Often, emotional reactions are not the problem. Getting upset is not the problem. Being hurt is not the problem. Being angry is not the problem. Being confused is not the problem. But it's the intensity of the emotions that make a difference. If you can calmly communicate to someone that you are angry, you can have an open discussion about it. But if you show someone you are angry, then you are choosing to disconnect and you shut down any form of communication and looking forward and looking to move forward. So it's all about how you react and respond. And often it's not how we feel, it's how we react to how we feel. Remember, the more intense an emotion is, the more difficult it is for us to think rationally. The more emotionally charged you are, the more stressed and anxious and upset and angry you are, and the more it builds and builds and builds, and the more you reinforce it and reinforce it, it completely dampens your ability to respond in a calm manner, to be rational about it, to be rational about your decisions. And often we make decisions when we are emotional, and we don't always realize the damage that can cause to our future outcomes, what damage it can cause to ourselves and other people. So it's important, don't make a decision when you are upset, because the chances are you will regret it later. And not being able to stabilize emotions, which is a common thing amongst people who become very emotional, who are very sensitive to emotion, or tend to react more than respond to their emotions. And not being able to stabilize this and the intensities of that emotion or of the emotions experience is known as emotional dysregulation. Emotional dysregulation is your inability to manage your emotions and to be able to rein them in a little bit, not control them, but to be able to lessen the intensity so that you can respond more rationally. Emotional dysregulation causes a chaotic mind. Emotional dysregulation causes an unstable psyche. It means that you are not able to self-manage, and people might find people with highly volatile emotions who are not necessarily emotionally regulated. People could find those people as being untrustworthy or very much unpredictable. Someone who's very emotional and is very intense in their emotions, you might find to be quite unpredictable and emotionally exhausting within themselves. So emotional regulation is extremely important, and practicing self-management and thought management. Remember, emotions are not illnesses. Emotions are not what makes the psyche ill. Emotions are not illnesses in themselves. They guides. They show us where we are, what our relationship with ourselves is, and what state our mental health is in. Use your emotions to guide you. Don't blame your emotions for not feeling good. Use them as guides so that you know where to improve, because emotional regulation is extremely important for your well-being. So remember, you are unique and valuable. Take care of that beautiful person. Stay strong wherever you're from. You are worthy.